Hello everybody, welcome back to a new video. Today I'm going to be talking you through the books that I read in June. Cannot believe June has been and gone and that we're going into July. It's already for the summer months and the summer reads though. But in the month of June I read 7 books in total. We had 4 romance, 2 sort of like fiction, literary fiction, women's fiction, and 1 thriller, or like a mystery I suppose. So let's just get straight on into it. The first 2 books were actually audiobooks and they were also rereads or re-listens. So I listened to Keeping 13 and Saving 6 by Chloe Walsh. These are part of the Boys of Tommen series. If you don't know, this is my favourite series ever. Love it so much. Have reread it or re-listened to it about 4 times now, which is perhaps a little bit excessive, but I just love it so much. I don't know if I need to bore you with what this book or this series is about because I feel like I talk about it all the time. But basically we follow a group of school students in Cork in Ireland, and it's sort of like an interlinking series where the group has a lot of trauma, romance, deep themes, all of that stuff, and they just have such a special place in my heart. I love them so much. Then the first book that I read was Lost Then Found by Tiara Stockham. So this was actually an ARC that I received. I love Tiara so much. I think she is so sweet and so lovely, and she has kindly sent me ARCs of including this book, 2 books now, and she never fails. I thoroughly enjoyed this one. So basically we have Lark and Boone. So this is like a cowboy small town romance, childhood friends to lovers, second chance, all of those good tropes that I love and eat up every time. So basically they were like best friends. They grew up and they were so close, really good friends, and also there was always like this romance between them. And basically then Boone moves away, but like minor spoiler, but also I'm pretty sure that it's like mentioned straight away in the book, but just be warned if you maybe don't want to know. We do have like a surprise or unexpected pregnancy where like Boone moves away and has been moved away for years. Lark stays in this town and has a child. So then he comes back and she's like, what's going on? I literally have a 13-year-old child with you. So then there's kind of like this other plot line going on about the town and the diner that Lark has. So you sort of get some of that as well, but I just really enjoyed it. I will say it felt quite long. I think maybe the chapters were a little bit long, so it felt like it was taking me a while to get through the book. But overall, I did really enjoy it. I think I rated it about a 3.75. And then my first 5 star of the month, we had One Golden Summer. Absolutely loved this one. So this is sort of part of like, it's not necessarily a series, but all of Carly Fortune's books kind of take place on like the same island, I believe, like near Canada or in Canada. I'm not quite sure. But they are just like ultimate summer vibes. So we are following Charlie and Alice. So Charlie we have actually seen in the first book, Every Summer After. He is Sam from that book's brother, and we do get like a little bit of him in that book. But this follows him and Alice. So Alice is a photographer, and basically however many years ago, when she was like 17, she took a photo, and that basically was a photo that inspired or got her into photography, and Charlie was in the photo. So that like kickstarted her love for photography, and it was at the lake house that she used to go to when she was younger. And basically she just kind of needs like a little break away. She needs to get away from like her job and everything like that. So her and her grandma go to the lake, and Charlie is essentially like looking after the lake house, I guess. He also has a lake house there, and that is how they meet and their paths cross. But I was just obsessed with this. I was obsessed with the way that she writes a setting and the way that she sort of describes the lake and the lake house and things that they're doing and the weather, and like I just felt like I was there. I was absolutely obsessed. And of course I loved Charlie. What a man. I loved their connection, I loved the friendship, I loved the way that he was with the grandma. I was just eating this up. Like this was just everything to me. 5 stars. Immaculate. And then another 5 stars, I read My Friends by Frederick Backman. So if you have watched any like recent vlogs, I actually have a reading vlog going up, reading like 3 books out of this wrap up. But I think that should be up before now, so I will like leave that one linked. Go and watch that if you want to see like my in time my like live reactions and stuff. But anyway, I was sent an arc for this, which I was so excited about because Frederick Backman is one of my all-time favourite authors. I just love his work so much. So when I was sent this, I was like, I need that immediately. So this basically, we follow a lot of different characters. I feel like in Frederick Backman's books, or at least the ones that I've read, you tend to follow like quite a lot of different characters, and it's all about how they sort of overlap and connect and understanding and learning each of their backstories. And it's all told in like third person, but I feel like you just get such an insight into the characters and into their lives and into their personalities and their thoughts and everything that I have never experienced with another author. But basically we are following like two separate sort of groups or characters, I guess, but they of course overlap. So we have the friendship group that is in this photograph. We are following them, which is kind of like the past timeline, and then we are following Louisa, who really strongly connects with this painting. So you're following her on like sort of her mission to go and see the painting, and then you also kind of get a bit of an overlap between the people in the painting and the artist, and sort of going back in time to learn about them and how their paths end up crossing with Louisa. And I just feel like this was incredible. It was everything. To talk about friendship, to talk about adulthood, childhood, growing up, like different parents, different relationships with family, different love stories. And yeah, it just, everything that he writes all of the time is always so deep and so meaningful and so special to me that I was just obsessed with this. Like one of the easiest 5 stars ever. I devoured this. It was so easy to read. It made me cry, it made me laugh, like I just loved it. Then going back onto my Kindle, my book club read for June was Speak of the Devil by Rose Wilding. So this was like quite a unique sort of like premise, I guess. It's like a mystery thriller where basically one person or one man ends up dead, and you are following this group of women who all sort of have a connection to him. He's not a very nice man. They all sort of have this thing, like this man is the thing that ties them all together and that links them all together. And you were basically going through trying to figure out which one killed him, why they might have done it, and all of that good stuff. Just casually talking about a murder mystery. But I did enjoy this. I read it very quickly, but purely because I had to, because I left it until 2 days before book club to start it, so I like had to read it pretty quick. But I did enjoy it. We had like a lot of different POVs because there's 7 women, so you are following each of the 7 women in their different POVs, and I thought that that might be a little bit confusing, but I feel like it actually made the story a little bit more engaging and like broke it up a little bit. So I did end up really enjoying it. I think I gave it like a 3.5. It wasn't my favourite. I wasn't necessarily like hooked and gripped and really invested, I suppose, but I did enjoy it. And then the last one we have is Firefly Lane by Kristen Hanna. Again, this one is in my recent reading vlog. I am not quite sure where I'm standing on this one still. So this is literary fiction. We are mainly following 2 best friends. We are following Kate and Tully. They meet in like high school or like around that age. So Kate is shy, a little bit of like, I don't want to say unpopular, but she's definitely not in the popular group, and she's very much like quiet, a little bit more reserved. And then she stumbles across and by chance meets Tully, who has had a very different upbringing from her. She's a lot more of like a free spirit, a bit rebellious, very popular. So they become friends, and then instantly they are inseparable, bestest friends ever, do everything together, are always with each other and think the world of each other. And we sort of go like throughout their life. So Kate has like a very much a suburban typical dream family and upbringing, whereas Tully has the exact opposite of that. And you sort of go through their different like life changes, them growing up. We see them through like teens, going to college, early adulthood, marriages, relationships, career changes, like everything. But then the whole big thing of this book is that there's this whole big betrayal, and then it's like, is the friendship gonna end? Is it over? What's gonna happen? And like, don't get me wrong, I enjoyed it, and I feel like there's a theme with Kristen Hanna's books for me, where when I'm reading them, I really enjoy them, but I'm never like racing to get back into the book. I've only read The Nightingale, but with this one, like when I was reading the chapters, thoroughly enjoyed it, but when I was like not reading it, I wasn't like, I desperately need to go and pick up that book. if that makes any sense. So I'm not quite sure where I'm sitting on it. This did make me cry. I cried at this book and I did enjoy it. I do want to watch the show because I don't know if I will almost prefer the show, which is crazy coming from a reader. But I didn't particularly love either of the characters. I didn't love Kate and I didn't love Tully. I feel like obviously they had their flaws, which I feel like is kind of the point. It's a realistic showing of friendship. Friendship cannot always be this dream thing where you are two perfect individuals and never do anything wrong, never upset each other. Like, it's kind of not always realistic to be like that. But I just didn't love their dynamic. It felt like kind of one-sided and it felt like they were selfish, and I don't know, I wasn't obsessed with it and I wasn't in love with it, and little bits of it did feel cliche, which I hate saying because I love like a cliche trope and a cliche storyline, but I just wasn't obsessed with this, and I really thought I would be from like what other people had said. But I still did enjoy it. I think I would probably give it like a 4 stars, which obviously is a good rating, but I think I was just expecting a little bit more. But I still do want to read some more of her books and sort of see where my rating is sitting on her as a whole, and sort of like rank my books that I've read from her and everything. But yeah, not a fave. I was a teeny tiny little bit disappointed by this, unfortunately. But guys, that is everything that I read in the month of June. A short and sweet wrap up. I'm very much excited to dive into summer romances, easy sort of rom-coms in July and going into August, to be honest. Let me know what you were reading, if you have any summer recommendations, because I'm always looking to add more to my TBR. As always, make sure you are following my Instagram so that you can stay more up to date on what I'm reading, reviews, everything like that. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye guys!